as well as then distributing the guidance through the appropriate process involved to ensure the guidance is issued to all agencies as directed by the court's minute order. Outstanding paragraph, whoever wrote that. So we did what you asked us to do, Judge. We're in compliance, but don't think that they're coming back in. All right, they're not. The culture at the DOJ, at the FBI, is these lawyers are not welcome here, and Trump's order will be enforced to the maximum extent possible. Pam Bondi telling the courts they've done enough. They're not going to be allowing the Perkins Coie Democrat hack lawyers back into the federal government. We know that this is a case brought by the lawyers against the DOJ in response to Trump's executive order, which essentially blacklisted them from the federal government. The law firm was Perkins Coie, and it was Mark Elias and Michael Sussman, in my opinion, corrupt Democrat operative hacks who were working with Hillary Clinton, Fusion GPS, Michael Steele, trying to collude to set Trump up with the Russian collusion scheme, selling it to the FBI, selling it to the media. It was all fake. So Trump, of course, didn't forget about that, neither did we, and banned them from everything. The case ended up in front of Judge Beryl Howell, another terrible judge who has hated Trump for a decade now, and violated his attorney-client privilege in my reading of what she did. But she heard this case and she granted an order saying, we're going to give Perkins Coie some of their privileges back. Trump said, you're cut out from the buildings, you're not getting paid, contracts are canceled, and your parking passes are rescinded, and you're banned, right? And all the things. And she said, well, these can come back and the specifics don't really matter. But what has happened is Pamela Bondi has given them a couple status reports and updates. And in that report, Bondi is explaining, we've done everything we're going to do. And if you don't like it, well, you can eat it. So we got 3 different updates here. First was a status update to the court. Perkins Coie is the case. The court is getting this from the DOJ, Deputy Associate Attorney Generals. We've got Terry Henry and Richard Lawson. Here's what they sent in to Judge Beryl Howell. They said, hey, Judge, all right, listen, on March 19th, the court entered a minute order directing the U.S. government, Bondi and Russell Vought and others, to immediately issue guidance to all other agencies, directing them to immediately to do this, to communicate to every recipient of a request for disclosure of any recipient with Perkins Coie that their request is rescinded. Okay, so in other words, the executive order went out. All the agencies said, cancel the things. The judge says, undo your cancels. Okay, so like, retract those emails. That's one. So the DOJ is saying, okay. And also cease making requests for disclosure until further order of the court. Now, the court's minute order also required them to file a status report by noon today about what we're doing. So we're doing that. So here we are filing this report. So the minute order was issued at 9:43 from Judge Beryl Howell, telling us in response to a motion to clarify. And so the minute order issued without the benefit of a response by the defendant. So in other words, Perkins Coie submitted a motion to clarify. The judge clarified, but the defense didn't have an opportunity to even be heard. Now, we have worked diligently. Okay, you told us to basically shove Perkins Coie back in. We've worked diligently to implement your minute entry, Judge. But there have been significant logistical difficulties in coordinating joint Department of Justice and OMB budget guidance issued by the AG and the director of OMB by both agencies, their principals and representatives. So you see what this paragraph is, as well as then distributing the guidance through the appropriate process involved to ensure the guidance is issued to all agencies as directed by the court's minute order. Outstanding paragraph, whoever wrote that. The joint guidance required by the court's order, using all the specific language called for in the minute entry, it was distributed to all agencies via the OMB process for all agency issues a short time ago, okay? So by contrast, but we did send your minute order out. So we also did email it to everybody, just said, hey, here's the minute entry. So we complied with you, we tactically complied with you, but in order to actually implement it, like we notified everybody, and by the way, so this is like beautiful. You said here, communicate to every recipient. So we did, we communicated it. We sent your stupid minute entry to everybody. They all got the email. Judge Beryl Howell says, duh, duh, duh. So we sent it to them. But implementing this, yeah, we're working on it. We're working hard. We have to have a joint agency, interagency meeting between the joints, between everybody, the OMB and everybody else. We're going to bring them together. We're going to work real hard on that. So we recognize that this status report is filed several minutes beyond noon at the request of the court's indulgence in this matter. Sorry, we're a little late on this. Counsel for Trump were able to confirm with OMB that the guidance required by the court's minute order was distributed at noon. Like, sorry, we're a couple minutes late, but we just got notified. We emailed everybody your pathetic order with this status report filed as soon as we were done. So we had no choice, but we got it to you by your deadline. Then they sent in another supplement and they said here, also as a follow-up to our supplement, we also filed the status report saying that we did send the minute order out. Now, due to the timing of the distribution, as explained in the report, the final guidance as distributed was not available to counsel for the defendants prior to filing filing this. So now we've sent this. Here's a memo for all agencies related to Trump's executive order. It's now attached, and so we sent it out. Here it is, Judge, right? It's tactical compliance. We did exactly what you told us to do. It says, everybody, see attached a joint guidance from the DOJ and the OMB regarding a court order. That's it. Send it out. Here you go. And noting, if you have any questions, contact us. So we did what you asked us to do, Judge. We're in compliance, but don't think that they're coming back in. All right, they're not. And what Pam said in follow-up to all of this is the beautiful memo that looks like this. Here's the memo. Court order regarding executive order 14230. They wrote this to everybody. From Bondi and Vought. Subject court order memo for all agencies. Here's what they communicated. On March 19th, the district judge entered an order in Perkins Coie. The case involves a challenge to Trump's executive order, which was, of course, addressing the risks of the hacks at Perkins Coie. Now, all agencies, they write, pursuant to this order of the judge, all agencies subject to Trump's order must communicate to every recipient a request for disclosure of any relationship with Perkins Coie or any person associated with this, that such request is rescinded until further notice. So if you're just a random person, you're just like, what? And must cease making such requests for disclosure pursuant to Section 3A of the order until further order of the court. Like, all right. But the executive branch's position, okay, so like this is where Pam is getting aggressive and we like to see it. Hey, Judge, I did everything you told me to do. You said communicate to everybody this, and I did. Copy and pasted. Here you go. But guess what? Here's my position. The executive branch's position is that executive order from Trump 14230 is permissible and that the court's order was erroneous. So the government reserves the right to take all necessary and legal actions in response to the dishonest and dangerous conduct of Perkins Coie as set forth in Trump's EO. So there you go, Judge. In other words, we're in total compliance with what you said to do. Everybody got your little stupid memo. We sent it out. But they also got our position on this, which is you're wrong. And we're going to take every legal action, which of course includes appealing this and getting a higher court to show that this judge is usurping the power of the executive branch away from them. And we're not changing. So you may get a memo on this, disclose this and blah, 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 but we're still calling them dishonest and dangerous. The culture at the DOJ, at the FBI is these lawyers are not welcome here. And Trump's order will be enforced to the maximum extent possible. And meanwhile, they'll just tactically comply with the judge. So shout out to Pam Bondi for that one. And we'll see what Judge Beryl Howell does in response.